Hey guys, AB here from B&H, and today we're looking at the Zoom H8, which is a 24-bit, 96K portable audio recorder / USB audio interface that was really designed for podcasters, musicians, field recorders, and pretty much anybody who needs a portable all-in-one audio recording solution. It's got a great color touchscreen so you can dive into the menu functions. It seemed like Zoom designed something that could adapt very easily to the modern content creator, because nowadays we're making all kinds of content, whether you're a vlogger or a sound designer, you have a podcast. So I really think this is gonna be a great solution for a lot of different kinds of users out there. FYI, I'm recording straight into the H8 with a Sony condenser mic, so you're hearing the audio that's actually coming from the unit itself. If you know anything about Zoom's recorders, you know that they are compatible with Zoom's line of microphone capsules, and of course, the H8 is no different. This comes with the XY-H6 stereo mic capsule, which is basically two matched unidirectional mics that are oriented in stereo configuration. You can choose between a 90-degree or a 120-degree stereo field, and this lets you capture audio directly in front of the unit. The XY-H6 capsule also provides a secondary input via a stereo 1/8-inch mini phone jack, which overrides the capsule mics. However, you can still use the gain control knob to adjust your input level. The big news here is that the new capsule input, which they're calling version 2.0, is going to be able to accommodate a new line of capsules, starting with the EXH8, which will provide 4 additional XLR inputs with phantom power, bringing the total number of inputs on the H8 to 10. That's pretty impressive for a handheld recorder. Each input on this new capsule will have a dedicated gain knob and pad switch. There will also be an XAH8 capsule for stereo recording, and the VRH8, an ambisonic mic capsule that records in 360 degrees and converts the audio inside the H8 so you can easily edit it in post. Now, having a variety of capsules at your disposal is great, but you're going to want to use your own microphones with the H8, and luckily there are lots of inputs from which to choose. There are 4 XLR mic jacks and 2 XLR TRS combo jacks with high Z switches, allowing you to capture microphones, line level signals, or directly record instruments like electric guitars and basses. Each XLR input has a 20 dB pad switch, and of course all 6 have phantom power, so there's a lot of flexibility there. Selecting the input you want is pretty easy. Simply press the square button by your input of choice, and it'll turn red, showing that the track is record ready. This will also be indicated on the touchscreen, and you can easily meter your input level here. Moving to the lower left side of the unit, we see an SD card slot. The H8 takes SD, SDHC, and SDXC cards up to 512 gigabytes. Just below that, there's an 1/8-inch stereo line out jack that you would use to record to another device, like your camera. And Zoom did a great thing here with the line out, because they've incorporated a dedicated line out level control, enabling you to fine-tune the volume of the audio you're sending to another device. On the opposite side, there's an 1/8-inch stereo headphone jack, and like the line out jack, there's no actual physical control or button, which it's not a deal breaker. It would be nice to have a button that's dedicated to volume, but what's cool is that when you plug your headphones in, immediately on the screen you'll see a headphone icon at the top right of the screen, and when you press that, you now have a slider where you can very easily control the volume of your headphones. By the way, that little grill there is just the speaker if you just want to reference something that you've recorded. You wouldn't want to use that for critical listening, but it's definitely handy if you're recording something and you don't have your headphones on hand. On the bottom of the unit is a power button, which obviously turns it on and off. There's also a hold function like other Zoom recorders have. And then there's a port for Zoom's optional BTA1 Bluetooth adapter, which provides wireless control through a free iOS-only mobile app. Using this with the H8 would allow you to monitor level meters and manipulate the transport controls like record, play, and stop. Underneath the H8 is the battery compartment, which holds 4 standard alkaline or NIMH AA batteries. Zoom says you can get up to 20 hours even with alkaline batteries. And of course, that's probably going to depend on how much you're recording, how many mics you're using, are you using phantom power on all of them, but that's a pretty good spec for alkaline batteries. What you really should do is use an external USB battery pack via the USB port. What's cool about this option is that if your battery pack dies, the H8 will automatically switch to the AA batteries inside without losing power. So no glitches, no hiccups, and then you can either recharge that battery pack, or if you have another one on standby, you plug that in and it goes right back to the battery pack first. Speaking of the USB port, the most notable feature is that it allows the H8 to act as a multi-channel and stereo audio interface for your Mac, Windows computer, iPad, or tablet. When used this way, you can actually record 12 tracks from your H8 to your device. Now, what that really means is 10 individual tracks and a stereo sum of those 10 tracks, adding up to 12. Below the touchscreen is the home button, which takes you to the main menu and serves as stop when playing your audio. There's also a play-pause button and a record button to easily engage recording. Now that we've worked our way around the outside, let's dive into the touchscreen, which has those apps that I mentioned before for podcasting, field recording, and music. Since podcasting is all the hype these days, why don't we explore that app first? Right away, we see 4 colorful buttons and a few icons for accessing menu items. The buttons are actually sound pads for incorporating sound effects into your podcast. The H8 comes with 13 pre-recorded sound effects, but you can actually take any sound effects you have in your library, put them in the sound pads folder, and the H8 will be able to choose those instead. Now, in podcast mode, you can have up to 8 microphone inputs, but this is how it would actually work. Because the sound pads are taking up tracks, you can only use 4 of the XLR mic inputs that are built into the H8. However, you have a capsule, and depending on which mic capsule you have, those can also be used in the podcast. So for example, the capsule that comes with the H8 gives you an additional 2 mics because it's a stereo capsule. The new one that's coming out with 4 mic inputs would give you 4 more mic ins. If you add that to the built-in mics, that would be 8 mics total for a podcast, which I think is pretty cool for a handheld recorder. What's more, the H8 comes with a free downloadable version of Steinberg's Wavelab Cast and Cubase LE. These software options will help you finalize your project with a wide range of comprehensive editing, mixing, and refinement tools, and Wavelab Cast connects you directly with podcast directories such as Spreaker or Podbean, so you can upload episodes quickly and directly create and publish RSS podcast feeds. Let's move to the Field app. The Field app is ideal for location sound, sound design, conferences, and other applications that often require portable recording capabilities. In this mode, you have access to all the mic inputs plus the capsule, and instant access to large meters for every track, so you can make sure your recording levels are just right. Also, you can quickly adjust input type, low-cut filter, compressor with controls for threshold, attack, and release settings, limiter, the all-new noise gate, and other key settings. The H8 also includes auto-record and pre-record functions to ensure that you don't miss an important take. Last but not least, we have the Music app, which really gives you the important functions you'd want for recording and mixing your music. We've got meters for monitoring your audio input and output levels, and faders for balancing all the sounds you've recorded. You get up to 10 tracks of recording, which means you could easily capture a band rehearsal or even a small ensemble. And there's even an overdubbing function, which lets you add new tracks on top of tracks you've already recorded, which is a feature that you don't normally find in these portable handheld recorders. Of course, you also get EQ and compression, and you can connect to Zoom's Guitar Lab via USB to access an endless assortment of amps and effects. Well, that's it for our very quick look at the Zoom H8. If you want to learn more about this really cool product, check out bhphoto.com. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. This is AB, and I will see you next time.